Good morning, I'm Yiplan. Our good topic is exploitation, the best solution to solve the consequence of deforestation in Amazon rainforest. So let me introduce the Amazon rainforest. The Amazon rainforest is the world's largest tropical rainforest. It has the second largest river over the world. It's also spread out over 8 countries and 16% of the forest area is within Brazil. So what is the function of the Amazon rainforest? Amazon rainforest has optimum climatic conditions for cultivating the land. We can see there are hot and humid in the whole year. It has high wind temperature. It has high wind and new rainfall. It also is which favorable for the photosynthesis and metabolism of the organism. So we create a high biodiversity. So for the biosphere, the large vegetation cover provides shelter for the other organisms for growing, nurturing, and breeding. So there are more than 14,000 plant species and home to over 5,000 different animal species. For the entire ecosystem is at the lung of the earth. We can produce more than 20% of the total world oxygen. It also purifies the air and water and stabilizes the soil by the plant. So for the economic value, it provides a lot of resources and it has effective value to promote the local tourism. And also for the social value, it's home of many different groups of indigenous people and provide job opportunity to local community. So now let's talk about the cause of deforestation in Amazon rainforest. The main reason of the deforestation is the high demand of resources. We can see data provided from the Mokbay.com. Agriculture occupies 63% of the total deforestation, and 63% is the cattle ranching, and other 20% is the cross planting. So why agriculture occupies the more percentage of the total deforestation? Because the farmer needs to clear the forest to obtain more land for planting and for the cattle ranching. Also, we can see the cattle ranching is a no-cost input due to their abundant grass resources in the rainforest. So, farmers are willing to carry out the cattle ranching for their money. So, when the grass are all consumed, the farmer needs to have clear more forests to obtain more land, obtain more grass food resources for cattle ranching. So there are more and more deforestation in the Amazon rainforest. So apart from the agriculture, the fire activity become the most concerned problem in the recent year. We can see the data provided from BBC News. In the 2019, we can see the total number of fire is about 75,000 and which is double number to the 2030. So we can see the fire activity become more serious. So the reason is the farmer needs to clear the forest to obtain the land. So the fire is the most faster method to clear the land, clear the forest. Also, they believe the let and burn can replenish the nutrients, so for the soil fertility, so they may have more and more fire to the forest. So besides, the Brazil government is encouraging them to clear the forest for agriculture, so there are more fire activity. So-called consequence for the deforestation, we can observe the total forest cover can decrease from the 3.186 billion square meter in 1985 to 3.39 billion square meter in 2018. So we can see the total forest cover had decreased to 12.2% since 1985, which is a serious problem. So government needs to have the responsibility to have a reforestation in the Amazon rainforest.
I'm going to talk about the deforestation and reforestation impacts in Amazon. First of all, let's talk about the economy. Deforestation is a short-term benefit to economy in the South Africa. It can attract people who want to earn quick money and farmers. After the deforestation, some people want to settle down, like the farmers, and the resources needs will rise while the population increase. They will keep expanding the deforestation area and the farm area for earn, for earning more money. However, because of the low literacy rates, the farmers don't know how to have a sustainable farming. They just use slash and burn, which will cause the erosions and damage the land forever. Also, the farm products benefits less than the timber products. The farm products can only sell around 50 to 100 US dollar per ha per year, but the timber products can sell over 400 US dollar per ha. So the timber products are more valuable. Therefore, we must have the reforestation after the deforestation. It can set up a forestry management department after the according to the FAO. If we put 1 million US dollar to the department, it can provide 500 to 1,000 jobs, and it can have a sustainable timber supply, which can give the South Africa a stable and long-term benefits by selling the timber products. Let's move on to the environmental impacts. As we know, the deforestation can produce many carbon dioxide to affect the global warming and climate change. Also, it can cause us the global biodiversity loss. There are 10% global species living in Amazon, and 75% of them are unique. We have already lost 20% of the Amazon biome, and we will lose 27% of them in 2030 if we don't stop the deforestation in Amazon. And it will cause us to lose 10% in mosquito to more than 50% of in lizards species. So why is it important to us? Because of their genes. The genes pool loss can cause the possibility loss of medical technology. Those species genes have the unique medical use, like the Madagascar rosy periwinkle in the Amazon. It is a major material to make anti-tumor agents for the patients. If we lost it, we may not find another material to replace it, and those patients may die. So the reforestation can protect those biodiversity, and it can also have a oxygen carbon dioxide balance, which can improve the local area quality after the deforestation and the climate and solve the climate change. Also, the reforestation is a short-term carbon sink. The soil can absorb more carbon than the plant's biomass and more stable because the plants can die easily by the deforestation or some disease. The However, the reforestation can reduce the erosions and absorb carbons at the same time, and it can accelerate the accumulation of soil carbon, and also it can recharge the groundwater for our next generations. Let's talk about the deforestation impacts to the culture. Uh, there are indigenous live in the Amazons, and deforestation can destroy their hunting place or even their living place. And those deforestation can eliminate the diaphragm with the indigenous, and the outsider can contact them easily. When the deforestation destroy their living place or their hunting place, they may get angry and they may hurt the outsider. So the outsider may protect themselves for fighting back. So it may get war between the outsider and the indigenous and causing some damage. Also, the outside disease can get in easily. Some indigenous never contact with the outside, and they have never suffered the outside disease. That means they have no antibody to of them, and it can kill them easily. So the reforestation can restore and protect the indigenous culture by replace their new hunting place and the living place, and rebuild a natural barrier for isolation with the outside.
I will talk about the views of different stakeholders, and I choose three stakeholders: government, agriculture, producer, and communities for this topic. Government is supporting reforestation because reforestation fulfills the aspects of sustainable development. First, in economic aspects, it is an essential source of economic growth and employment. For example, ecotourism in rainforests may attract more tourists come to visit. Investment from different countries may increase too. Trading rainforest goods to different countries may push up the economy in the country. Then trees greatly benefits the people living around them by having a positive impact on mental health and well-being. It shows the intrinsic value of reforestation to people. To the quality of human life is one of the social issues. The security of resources for future generations is a social benefit for reforestation too. Rainforest resources is sustainable because of the reforestation. Trees are recovered after the resources is used by humans. In environmental value, the quality habitats for wildlife, biodiversity of plants and animals. Preventing the soil erosion may keep the water resources clean in rainforests. Reforestation also provides habitats for wildlife, improving the health and diversity of wildlife. Government joined in some campaign of reforestation tools, for example, like bond challenge. The forest produce industry is a source of economic growth and employment, with global forest products trade internationally in the order of 270 billion. UN adopts new international agreement to protect world forests. The Bond Challenge is a global effort to bring 150 million hectares of deforestation and degrade lands into restoration by 2020 and 350 billion hectares by 2030. Next, agricultural producers may support reforestation too. The use of agriculture increased because of the shielded effect by windbreaks. Also, it reduced soil erosion. Lack of nutrients increased with soil with erosion because of the increase of crop yields. The income of farmers will also increase. This diagram shows the increased percentage of yields. 9 species of crops increase the yields between 6 to 99%. Then, companies may support reforestation too. It is an essential source of economic growth and employment. Reforestation creates a better environment for wildlife living. Some of the forestry may increase lake fishing and hunting in a more sustainable way. It is because of the biodiversity increase after reforestation. Sustainable development for different products from forests like pulpwood, saw timber, veneer poles, and chemical byproducts. Chemical byproducts can be the shampoo or soap. These are all chemical byproducts.
Next, we'll talk about the limitation and the challenge of reforestation. First, since reforestation is the main solution of deforestation, however, there are also different kinds of factors that will affect the reforestation rate and maybe slow down the reforestation. Therefore, the first limitation of reforestation is not all the tree variety is suitable for the reforestation. Tree contains different aspects of trees. Planting and design must be at least understand the size and the shape of the trees before we do the reforestation. There are different factors that will consider the tree is it suitable. First is the maximum temperature and the minimum temperature. It will to consider which plant can grow in that temperature. Then we will also consider the rainfall to consider that the rainfall amount and to choose which plant is suitable. Besides, water supply, drainage, soil physical, and the chemical properties will be affect the seedling growth also. There are interaction between the factors that will affect the reforestation. For example, the sand grains under the strong sunlight, often from the water shortage. The environment of the planting area is not suitable for the selected species. It will affect the reforestation in the success rate. Besides selecting the suitable seedling, reforestation in the suitable season is also important. Different seasons have different climate. It will affect the seedling growth. So the second limitation of reforestation is the seasonal reforestation. They have different weather conditions in different seasons. Choose the suitable season to the reforestation can increase the plant survival rate. Spring soil moisture is significant, and the temperature is suitable for the plant. Less chance to lose moisture. In summer, there have significant moisture and more sunlight. It is more efficient for the plant to do photosynthesis. Besides, in the autumn and the winter, there have a less rainforest and dry, so the plants are easier wet. And how to choose the suitable season, it should be determined according to the climate condition and seedling characteristic of each region. From a climate point of view, the appropriate reforestation season should be that the seedling have a strong germination and the rooting ability, and it is easy to maintain the water balance inside the seedlings. Therefore, it will limit it in autumn and winter to do reforestation because in these two seasons, the rainfall is less and it will become more dry, and the plant may easy to get lost moisture. It will decrease the plant survival rate, and it is more suitable to do the reforestation in summer and spring because the seasonal condition is more suitable for the plant to grow. Besides the limitation of reforestation, there also have some challenging of reforestation. Planting a tree in the wrong way is easily to lead the tree growth not well or maybe die. It will affect the reforestation effectiveness. First, the seeding cannot plant too deep or too slow. If we plant too deep, it will easily burned by the soil, and the root have not enough oxygen for growth because there are not enough oxygen in the deep soil. Also, it will limit the growth of trees and trunks because the soil in the deep have enough space for the trees and the trunks to grow. Soil moisture causes the tree root and to rot. The soil in the deep cannot see the tree root is eroded. Moreover, if we plant too sorrow, trees will have a risk to grow sap because the root cannot grow in the soil to increase force. Root in the top not enough nutrients to the roots cannot absorb the nutrients such as nitrate for growth. Root will moisture loss and the root near the surface cannot absorb the water in the soil. If we plant the tree in the wrong rate, it will affect the tree survival rate. Lastly, the challenge of reforestation is the forest fire is always happen. Forest fire is mainly reason that lead to the deforestation. If the forest fire cannot be solved and always occur, it will lead the reforestation more difficult to do. Therefore, in the recent year, the number of forest fires always happens in Amazon forest. It led the greenhouse gas emissions increase. Therefore, the global warming occurs and lead to the drought occurs more frequently, so the number of forest fires increase. It has a various circle between global warming and the forest fire. The drought period happen longer. The forest fire also have a higher chance to occur. Therefore, the number of forest fire increase. It will cause the reforestation more difficult to do it.
Green Wall is an African-led movement launched in 2007 with an ambition to grow an 8,000 kilometers natural wonder of the world across the entire width of Africa by 2030 in order to battle desertification. The wall aimed to be a compelling solution of climate change, droughts, famine, conflicts, and migration. With more than $8 billion investment, the wall is 15% on the way now. This project is already bringing advantages back to Africa's degraded landscapes. Since its launch, major progress has been made in restoring the fertility of African lands. Key examples include 15 million hectares of degraded land restored in Ethiopia. 11 million trees has been planted in Senegal. This project undergoes reforestation with three main managements to enhance the success of the Great Green Wall, including sustainable forest management to ensure the goods and services derived from the forest meet today's needs, while ensuring that they also secure long-term development, active fire management, help restore ecosystem health, and improve habitat quality. Community water management practices to control the water allocation and water resource management. There are two main challenges have been made overcome already. For instance, lack of precipitation by using Falernani system. It allows direct seeding of native plants whose germination and growth is contribute to the water collected in the system. Furthermore, adoption of farmer-managed natural regeneration reduces conflict over a stifling resource. This boosts agriculture and livestock yields. By the development of Project Great Green Wall so far, obvious benefits have been made successfully. The major achievements are reverse 15% land degradation, increased climate resilience where temperatures are expected to rise by 2 to 5 degrees Celsius. There is another country suffering from severe desertification, that is Costa Rica. Over the last 70 years, about 80% of the forests have been lost. Lumber industry became the major threat of deforestation. From 1983, Costa Rica planted more than 35,000 trees in different areas with deforested soils. They have managed to reclaim 52% forest density in Costa Rica, in 2010. As to address deforestation, sustainable management allows the landowners to extract a certain number of trees. Also, Costa Rica's government encouraged landowners to protect the land by paying money to them based on the environmental services provided. These criteria include tree plantation, safeguarding biodiversity, scenic beauty, and water management. When facilitating the reforestation practice, there have been two major challenges linked to the ecological and economic areas. The biggest obstacle is selecting the most adequate sites where the trees are to be planted and the adaptation of these species to the scents. The second challenge that they had to face is the financial sustainability to maintain the growth of the project since this is a no-profit enterprise. However, solution has been raised that these payments are funded through international donations and national wild taxes. From now on, there are more than 500,000 species of wildlife come back to Costa Rica, which is nearly 4% of the total number of species worldwide. Moreover, it registers a list that contains more than 2,040 forest species, which is one of the highest figures of the tropical world.
Moving on to the part of comparison, our group put the case study into the situation of Amazon rainforest. We think that the case of Great Green Wall is most suitable in the case of Amazon deforestation. They are similar so as to tackle the problem in Amazon rainforest. We'll discuss below on why it is suitable in different categories, such as sustainable development, economy, ensure job opportunities, and food security. Start with the part of sustainable. Sustainable development should be critical or worldwide issue, not only consider the future of forests, as deforestation caused a lot of loss in the forest, such as large area of land are completely cleared of trees. Every few minutes, the area of 200 football fields are cleared. Nearly 20% of the Amazon has been destroyed in the past 40 years. Given that in the results in reverse 15% of land degradation, which shows that it is a sustainable way to save the forest. Similarly, in the case of Amazon rainforest, reducing land degradation will help a lot. It can tackle the problem of wrong use of land and waste of land in Amazon rainforest, also to decrease the rate of economic development. Besides, the method of planting trees can restore the Amazon rainforest ecosystem, reducing deforestation while restoring forests degraded by burning, which brings to sustainable development. So, for the part of economy, we think it is an important category that will mainly determine whether the project will be success or not, because of different stakeholders will be affected by by this project, such as district government, citizens, etc., which economic development should be significant for considering their own interests. Looking into the case of Great Green Wall, so far it had a success of increasing productivity of land by 12% and also generate 10 million income. Shows that the project used in Great Green Wall had done a great job on helping economic development. Also, addressed the economic loss caused by deforestation. So put into situation of Amazon rainforest, let us point out some background. In old times, Amazon was primarily the product of subsistence farmers who cut down trees and produce crops for their families and local consumption. But when it's come to 20th century, with an increasing proportion of deforestation driven by industrial activity and large-scale agriculture, means that it transfers into foreign trade in order to make huge benefit in economic incomes, also speeds up deforestation. But when reforestation occurs, felling of trees should be reduced, resulting in less profit made by the forest, which will dissatisfy some of the stakeholders. So, to solve the problem, it should have a method that keeping the economic growth stably, while reforestation. Great Green Wall had a great success on keeping economic benefit, which shows in the statistic above. We can see that when the project of Great Green Wall applied to the Amazon rainforest will be successfully tackle the problem of economic loss when running the method of reforestation. Moving on to the part of food security, starting with reviewing the case of Great Green Wall. The result of it is ensure the food security for 20 million people, which is considerable that the reduction in the rainfall and snowfall would lead to water and food shortage and a greater risk of forest fire. This illustrated that the food will be continuously lost when deforestation keep on and having the consequence of low food security. When making use in the case of the Amazon rainforest, let us look at the background of it. Converting the forest's natural wealth into agricultural land does not bring easy livelihood. As a result, in these marginal areas, local communities often struggle with food security. To make matters worse, the land on which they live can easily fall victims to unsustainable land management practice, which threaten not only the forest itself, but also the ability to provide farming to future generations. Food protection is expected to decrease 2% every decade as a result of drought and other climate-related impacts. Considering that the world's poor and disproportionately affected by such changes, threaten to significantly reduce the world food supply in the coming years. In the case that if the situation has not gotten better, food security will be lost, as the modus of Great Green Wall was effective on food security. This may be fit in the state of affair in the Amazon rainforest. Lastly, job opportunity is also a factor that could measure whether the method is suitable or not. The project of Great Green Wall has created 35,000 jobs opportunity. In addition, countries across the Sahel need to invest more resources for the project and build more jobs for people who benefit from the revival landscape by developing supply chains and markets, which means that more and more job opportunities appears because of the project of reforestation. When it comes to the condition of Amazon rainforest, increasing demand for forest products, which is projected to grow dramatically in the coming decades. Also, the formal timber sector employs more than 13.2 million people, which shows that as deforestation will lead to job loss in Amazon, solutions in the case of Great Green Wall are also settling the problem in Amazon.
So regarding the other policy, the first one is to set up a protected area. On April 29 and 1998, the Brazilian president announced one of his environmental policy, that his commitment to set up a complete protected area. It is very important for the Amazon, but more importantly, he also promised that it will increase the percentage of Amazon forest ecosystem with a protection level of 10%. Until now, more than 40% of the areas in Amazon are considered as a protected area. So the second policy is developing the ecotourism. Amazon Park is divided into 3 areas nowadays. One of the area is tourist area, which means it is used for ecotourism. It can let the tourists see the animal and the plants in Amazon. To travel the tourist area, it are required to join the local tourism group so that it cannot easy to harm the forest because if someone is monitoring the tourists. Through the ecotourism, it can bring the huge economic benefits and have more resources to conserve the Amazons. And furthermore, it can also educate people how to conserve the forest from the daily life. When it comes to the environmental policy in Amazon, it is worth to mention that the policy by the Conservation International. The Conservation International divided Amazon region into 3 regions, which are the green, yellow, and red. The green lands are referred to formally decided as a protected area, and the yellow land are referred to whose use has not been formally divided, and the red lands are referred to whose change to agriculture, developed into a city or degraded places. So let me introduce the green area first. Regarding the green areas, they are trying to strengthen and expand the green area. Nowadays, about 44% of Amazon region now belong to the green zone. They increase the economic potential of green area. For example, promote more ecotourism and set up a trust fund so that it can maintain a sustainable development and long-lasting protection. Concerning the yellow areas, they are trying to avoid the deforestation in yellow area and strive for setting up the new protected area in yellow area. And they also encourage people to protect the forest through the economic incentives such as providing infrastructure and ecotourism subsidy to the local resident. And lastly, they also keep striving for those yellow area to become the tourist area, so that as I said before, it can gain more economic benefit, so it can maintain their standard of living. So as for the West zone, they keep increasing the sustainable production of transformed land. Conservation International is increasing the sustainable production of the transformed land. They keep promoting the sustainable agricultural development so it can maintain the standard of living of the local resident and minimize the impact of the infrastructure and the mining. Besides, they also monitor the private sector. The private sector does not further destroy or deforest the land and strive for the government.
To conclude, comparing different cases and methods, our group thinks that reforestation is the best solution to solve deforestation in the Amazon rainforest. Consider the interests of different stakeholders. Methods of reforestation is relatively comprehensive, such as thinking over the categories of economic job opportunities, food security and sustainable development, etc. This solution will be the best solution for the Amazon rainforest. Besides, take the policy of establishing protected area as an example. It is just short-term results or effect to protect the forest from deteriorating. It does not heal the forest from being destroyed. Conversely, reforestation can provide long-term effects, that the solution of deforestation could be completely solved. So from above reason and analysis, our group thinks that reforestation is the best way to solve deforestation in the Amazon rainforest. Here's all our presentation. Thank you.